This is Tucker, and today we're going to try to go ahead and do a little wire wheeling underneath the Blue Goose in all those areas where we put those patch panels in. Try to get all that surface rust and stuff kind of knocked off so we can put some chassis saver on there to try to keep it from rotting out anytime soon. So after we get that done, we're going to try to do a little bit of work on the Buick Roadmaster floor section, do some patch panels, and try to get a few other little things done to it so we can get the old Blue Goose set back down onto the floor. So we'll get started on that and see where we end up. All right, well, we got that pretty much all wire wheeled everywhere where we'd done any patchwork at on it. So all we got left to do now before we put on that chassis saver is straighten up these outer rockers a little bit. As you can see, this is that new one. It's kind of got a little bit of tweakage going on here. And then over here on this hand-built one, we bent it up pretty good too. That all happened when we was first trying to set that Blue Goose down over that Roadmaster chassis. And I don't know, any of you that were following along can remember that it kept getting kind of hung up. That's all damage that occurred then. So we'll go ahead and get that all worked out, and we'll get some of that chassis saver in a dish and start getting our first coat applied. All right, well, we pretty much got our first coat of chassis saver up here on that passenger side quarter and all along that inner rocker area where we'd added that. So we went ahead and did the driver's side rocker and got it pretty much done and up into the inner area as far down as we were going to go there where we'd done some repairs. So now all we've got left on the body as far as chassis saver goes on the first coat is to get up inside that passenger quarter. All right, we ended up getting that chassis saver applied there above the inner wheel well where we welded that quarter panel on there. In order to get all the way back up in there, I had to take like an aluminum flat bar and tape some of them sponge brushes to it in order to get up in there and get that stuff applied. But so now while all that stuff's drying, we're going to go ahead and start working on that roadmaster floor before we apply a second coat over everything. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started on trying to make some sheet metal patches here for where this thing's kind of rotten over here along this pinch weld area. But like I said, as you can see here, it's pretty tough from about here down. And there's actually a seam right here where this other panel actually overlapped onto this one. So we're not going to go any further up than about right here, because this metal here is all still pretty good. We'll just straighten it out a little bit before we set that body back down. So we're going to come in here and kind of clean up a lot of this seam sealer, grind off some of this area in here so I can get some clean metal. And there's kind of a pretty good contour going on right here. I think it's due to this weld nut that's here for the seat belt. We're probably going to leave that if it's pretty decent, and I think it is once we get past here. So we'll probably overlap our new piece of material. We'll come in here and cut this off, get rid of this lip part, and then we'll just probably bend this a new lip on the new piece of material and overlap and just kind of go over this area a little bit since it's not really seen that much, and see if we can get a piece made for that. So we'll go ahead and get started on that and see where we end up. Well, we've kind of got that kind of cleaned up there a little bit for a starting point. I think so what we're going to do on this here is we're going to go ahead and do this in two sections. We're going to do this upper area first, and then come in here and do the second piece right in here, because we've got quite a little bit going on between the two areas here. So it's going to be a lot easier if we just make it in two sections and get it all tied together at the end. So we'll go ahead and start making some templates here and start cutting us out some sheet metal. Well, we got that piece kind of fabbed up here and welded into place. So now I think we've got a pretty good solid direction on how we're going to go ahead and build this. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the rest of the pieces. We're going to go ahead and dupe everything so we can mirror it for the other side. And then we'll go ahead and get that stuff welded in there and hopefully have this part kind of pretty well wrapped up. All right, well, here's where we are so far. We end up fabbing this last big piece for this side. The only thing we have left is another small little piece, and we'll have this side wrapped up once we burn it in here. But this piece has actually got two little tabs here that I've bent over that are going to actually slip right inside of the factory Buick Roadmaster rocker panel here, because we're just a little bit short on the length compared to the 57. So when we get that popped over, and then this should snap right into place right there. And when we slide that body back down on there, that inner wheel well of the 57 will come in on this side, and it'll slip forward right up against this. So then the reason we put this extra flange on here is because we're going to fall just a little bit short on that factory that wheel well on the 57. So I went ahead and added this flange in here now. That way we don't have to do any fab work on the inside, hopefully once we get this all done. So we're going to go ahead and burn this piece in, weld it in up along here. And then the only thing we have left to do on this side is one little filler spot right here. And then just kind of weld it along where we put those tabs at. But the reason I did those tabs was to make up for that little shortage that we had on the original length on these Buick Roadmasters. So we'll go ahead and get this burn in here, grind this side down, and we'll finally get over to the other side. All right, so we got the passenger side looking about like the driver's side over there. We went ahead and just mirrored everything and welded this side in and ground everything down. So that's about all we're going to do on these wheel wells. Hopefully it all fits pretty good once we set the body back down on there, and that we don't have to cut it all out again. So we'll have to find out when we get to that point. Well, I want to go ahead and take a moment here to thank everybody that's been following along on this build. It's just been great. I appreciate all the comments and input on this. And if you're new to the channel and find any of this helpful in any way, or at least entertaining, please hit the like and subscribe button and follow along, because we got quite a bit more stuff to do on this, and we'll have some more builds after this. So until next time, everybody stay safe and take care.